So this is part 3 of Evocation, the modern version. And after you have done the LBRP, BRH, and also the middle pillar, and so on, and you have performed the opening by the watchtower, and now you want to do Evocation. And here he uses Tattva discs or a disc, and those are the planetary discs I have talked about before. I use the planetary disc, not Tattvas. So unwrap your sigil and place it and your disc or Tattva on top of your book. Hold this little bundle in your left hand and pick up your magic wand or sword, depending on your working with some lesser spirits, with your right. If your sword is not being used, have it ready in case you want to add incense. Move clockwise to the quarter you will be calling the spirit from. Spend a few moments gazing at the tattva or disc of the sphere, and then at the sigil of the entity or spirit. Repeat the spirit's or entity's name to yourself a few times. Open your book to your conjuration and read it, or the one following out loud. This is an example, barely. Making sure to correctly substitute the necessary names. And you should always write your own and do research that gives the best results. I evoke you and conjure thee, O spirit, whatever. And you put the title in there as well, if they have it. By the power and authority of the Supreme Majesty, the true God, who is known by the name of... And then you use the divine names you want to use of the... if you're using the spheres or other deities, if you're from another pantheon. In the realm of S, name of sphere, to come quickly from that realm to appear before me within this triangle of art in a fair and comely shape. Rest your book on the altar behind you, but keep it within reach. Hold your sigil over your tattva or disc with a planetary or sphere, and intently gaze the entity or spirit in your hand. Once again, repeat the name of the spirit you are calling a few times. After a few moments, place the sigil of the spirit under the tattva or disc and gaze at the latter. If you are using the tattva, allow the complementary image to fill your mind's eye, and in the case of the planetary disc, try to recall its color and symbol. Still standing with your sigil and disc or tattva in your left hand and your wand or sword in your right, astrally travel to the entity sphere of origin by passing in your astral body of light through the portal you create. When present in the correct sphere on the mental plane, vibrate the appropriate divine name. After doing this, call out to the spirit you have already conjured. Once the spirit or entity appears to you, begin mentally repeating its name as you return to your physical body. When you arrive, keep your eyes closed and continue to mentally repeat the name of the spirit. When you feel fully in control of your physical body, once more begin whispering the name of the entity out loud. With each repetition, let the volume of your voice increase and slowly begin to open your eyes. You should see the entity manifesting in the smoke of the censer. Once the spirit or entity has fully manifested, ask what its name is. Physical plane using your beacon, then it will most likely be the correct spirit. It pays to be certain. If the spirit answers correctly, then you move on. If it claims to be some other spirit, then you can either question it or banish it. Open your book and slide it across the floor into the triangle of art using your sword. This is when it is a demon. And ask the entity to sign its name as an astral impression in your book. You don't do that to an angel. They wouldn't sign your book if you use a sword against an angel. I promise you that. Retrieve the book with your sword. If the name is legible and signed correctly, give the entity a greeting you wrote yourself, or the following one. In peace I welcome you, spirit, with titles and name and so on. And in the name of the Most High, I command you to remain within this triangle of art until you are dismissed, to speak honestly and truthfully, answer all questions put before you. You can now freely speak to the spirit and stick to the topics concerning the purpose of your evocation. And the spirit might give you a word of power so that you can call it, or a specific name or a sigil, so that you will have it easier and it will come at your command quickly, so you don't have to do a full evocation anymore. And after the entity have answered whatever questions you put to it, and it agrees to carry out what you want, then you can dismiss it using a formal dismissal, like go in peace and return to the sphere or tattva or whatever, your sphere of origin, O spirit, and by the power of the true God and the divine names. And vibrate the divine name. I command you to harm none as you depart, and to be ready to come quickly if called again. And after the entity or spirit vanishes, move clockwise to your position to the west of the altar facing east. Close your book and recover the sigil with black silk. And then you perform the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram and the closing of the watchtower that was in the video before. So that was it, and this was a modern version. So, and one thing, I never call on Osiris, Rise and Isis, Typhon and Apophis. I don't particularly like that pantheon. So instead of that, I always either, the priest I worked for, he called on the God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and I called upon all my archangels, Metatron, Sandalphon, Raziel, Uriel, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Kamael, Jophiel, Zadkiel, Haniel, Castiel, and Sapkiel instead. Or a Shem angel you feel drawn to. So that's my way of doing it. I only perform rituals like this when I'm asked into a circle and they need help. Then I perform out of, what is the name for that? Not curiosity, but out of respect for them, I do as they say, but I don't call upon spirits to invoke them unless they are my spirits. And they know that, so I call on my angels anyway, even in those rituals. I have called upon these before, but I don't like the energy. So, I love you all, and bye for now.